Hello, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. I'm newtmechanist, and tonight we are going to be playing some more I'm on Observation Duty 7. Last time we played, we reached the factory level, and it is wild. The most rooms we've seen at once in one of these games, as well as, I think, some of the most complexity while still feeling believable. Should be a lot of fun. But before we do, let's first check in with the kitties. We do have Ember in her spot. We have Mason and Sammy over there on the bed. Sky has just passed through, or is passing through. I think he wanted to come sit with me, but Molly has that spot at the moment. So he's going to sit with Ember instead. Sherbet is over by the door. While all of them really hate the idea of being put in a cat carrier to go to the vet or something like that, several of them a couple of them like to sleep in the cat carrier when it is not being used to transport them, as well as on top of it. The one that favors that the most is Sherbet. But yeah, observation duty. Let's just pull up the game screen here a moment. Like I said, oh hey there, Dots. Hey there. We're just doing our opening here. I've given Molly head pets since she came to sit with me. Let's see. So observation duty today and more coding tomorrow and Sunday. We have some goals for coding tomorrow already. I have an idea on how to solve the concern that I discovered over the asynchronous loading. We can fix that. Rottweiler, huh? Well, if one of my fellow streamers, Sky, is to be believed, then clearly you have to worry about it flying around and blowing up the house. Hey there, Laura. Welcome. We are just getting started. Like I was saying, we got to the factory level last time. And the factory level has a great deal of complexity to it. In the game, this observation room has 2 people in it, which is going to add to the confusion. There is no other map where there are just people hanging around. So we'll have to watch their behavior to see if their behavior goes out of the ordinary. We've seen that at least once. Additionally, there's just a lot of moving things in the factory, conveyor belts and the like. So there will be a lot to spot. We've also already encountered one of the intruders that can appear on that map. 2 of them, actually. We encountered Redman and the Flasher. Which we were concerned about a TOS moment for a moment, and then I don't know. It turned out, I think, at least as disturbing. But let's see how this goes. Again, this is an observation duty game. This is one where a lot of it is focus and memorization. But that doesn't mean we can't chat. Doesn't mean we can't talk about stuff. So feel free. As per usual, we have about 15 in-game minutes before we are probably going to see anomalies happen. Here's our opening room. We have seen a couple of things appear here, like one of the server racks becoming meat. Hey there, JCR. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're just getting started. Trying to remember what this place is supposed to look like, so we can start spotting the differences in, 30 plus seconds. At the first break, I am going to remember to turn off the lights. It reduces glare on the screen and, atmosphere. There are just so many rooms in this one. Lots of things to remember. This is where the flasher can appear. I was convinced that these lockers were out of place last time. Dead set on it. But they weren't. I often refer to this game as essentially self-gaslighting the game. Because very quickly while you're playing it, you will start to try to convince yourself that something was different when it isn't. Another difficulty with this location is just there's so much that is odd about it already for this game. The last level, the museum, had some of that going for it already as well, where there were like paintings and statues that were already out of place. They felt wrong looking at them. So when they changed, it wasn't always as apparent because they didn't need to move. Oh, there's Redman. Redman is on every map. And he operates the same way. As soon as you start clicking on him, it starts a kill event. Always have that yellow glow. It matches that one. Things like the meat lumps and the trolleys full of meat are oddities. We do get a lot of movement on the monitors. Like, the monitors will move around. Turn the music down just a little bit. Make sure we can hear the background noise if it becomes relevant. Sometimes there are audio cues. This is one of the occasions where backseating is not a problem. If you think you see something, feel free to call it out. I may not notice in time, or I may, we may talk through why it is or it isn't. But feel free to participate if you like. Cats are doing fine. Molly is sitting on my lap at the moment. We have the two on the bed. We also have Sky and Ember snuggled up across from the keyboard. Sherbet is sitting guard on one of the doors. You can see Sky, the gray and white fluffy one, is laying against Ember. She normally doesn't have a problem with that for long. She doesn't tolerate that from any of the others. She has very personal space about the others. Okay, we have spotted nothing. We're near a well, we spotted one intruder. There's at least two other things active right now. Generally by about 1 o'clock, there are upwards of 3. The first run is usually a warm-up period, of the fun things about our run so far, we're playing on normal. There's a hard mode. Okay, so we have 3 anomalies active right now. Some of them can be real subtle. One of them that was at a gas station, there was a door anomaly in a back lot that was just a handle on a shack in the background that was jiggling. Took us forever to notice that. I know some folks that are watching will do things like scroll back and look at the different images to see if they spot something different. I've heard some people take screenshots and look on other monitors, so they get a screenshot of each area and compare it to what they've been seeing. Yeah, so far I got nothing. There we go. I will wait to get up and turn off the lights until Molly is done sitting with me. Oh, I didn't read the list. There is blood in the floor in a few places. In the hallway, it can come out of one of the manholes, and that's out of the ordinary. I'll show you some of the spots where there is blood on the floor normally. Okay. So these are spots that are very easy to be a problem. This monitor can move, that wheel can move. This conveyor can run backwards. It will actually unpack the cans. Blood can leak out of this manhole. Maybe some of the others, but definitely that one. This is the meat factory, Dots. Yeah. So we can see meat lumps on the floor here, as well as in the tracks from the wheels. And we can see all of these boxes are, like, leaking. This is normal for this location. This is what it is supposed to look like. There's also a lot of rooms. Like, a lot of rooms. So additionally, it will be easy for a camera malfunction to slip past us. I think there's a particular degree of mental fortitude working in things like meat processing and similar. You know, things like where hot dogs are made, you would have to have lighting in the maintenance hall. It's one of the obvious ones. Lights get very bright. The weird, like, heavily organic nature of what you're dealing with, you know? Or, like, which doors? I know there's a door anomaly that can happen here. I've heard cattle slaughterhouses can be really troubling for the people that have to work there, both psychologically and health and safety wise. Sometimes those guys will turn and stare at the camera. I still think that's one of the best sinister elements in these kind of games, is where there is an indication that whatever is causing the strangeness is aware that you're looking. Yeah, if you look at the floor, there are smear tracks that, like the forklift and similar, must be moving through pools. This is like fog in the storeroom. Toxic gas in the storeroom. Just about any time that the report has a special thing at the bottom, like if a new result appears, that's what you're supposed to report. Yeah, it was like a green gas. I wonder if that was a kill condition. There are some anomalies that if you leave them alone too long, they end the game. Usually those are intruders, but there are some environmental ones that can. The spa level has a really cool intruder that starts on the left side of a pool and scuttles into it. If you don't notice him in time, he slowly swims his way across to the right side of the pool. And if you still don't notice him before it's too late, he will leap out. He will climb out and leap at the camera and break it. And that's a game over. So you have to notice him swimming, like hiding under the water. They also added what I refer to as kind of puzzle intruders and similar, where like little mini games will happen for you to get rid of them. So there was one where you had to answer a CAPTCHA. Like the little square, spot all of these things. There's one in the spa level that makes you answer questions. Like, how many of these things were there kind of questions. Yeah, I think it was, there was a laughing guy. There's got to be at least 2 active JCR. There was a laughing guy in the factory floor, and you had to select the squares on the grid that had his face grinning at you. Okay, those are the same. That's there. Lump, tracks, monitors. Is that always there? We just hit 3. A red glint? Where are you seeing that? Seems look right. That looks like right. Bottle. These seem okay. One of the conveyor belts. This area? Hey there, Drew. Welcome, welcome. The floor here gives us kind of like a glow. The red flooring. You get sort of a reflection onto the pipes. Oh. congratulations, Drew. Are you already done with all of the celebratory events associated with? Hard fail. Okay, monitoring room had a swap in it. Break room had a swap, and an image in the quality control. Okay. There's one thing I like that they've added recently is that they list the 3 that were active before before the 4th appeared. Nice, Drew. Nice. Well, I hope you're happy together. Yeah, it doesn't tell you exactly what you missed, but it gives you an idea. And then the next time you look, you might think, oh, this was different, you know? Have I been recently? Things are going well. I finally got like a schedule rolling again, and we're mostly managing to stick to it. Our game development project is moving along nicely. Got some real momentum this week. I don't see an obvious change in this room. So I don't know what this was. I don't know what got swapped here. Yeah, I did kind of a shuffle on the Discord to get some of the chat rooms filtered down, since we're not really making use of some of them. Okay. Ember got tired of being used as a pillow. She has moved across the desk to the other side. She is fully snoozing, though. She is not still in resentful loaf position. Bit closer attention. See if we can spot the issues this time. I should be focusing more, but it's fun to chat too. I just enjoy this kind of game. I really feel that they nailed the surreal atmosphere. Especially how each area has its own kind of stable of intruders. Is it always there? Suppose so. Oh, what room was this? This is a abyss in break room? Could be lights. There we go. Several of them scramble which room it is, so you have to try to remember which it should be. Button bay. Kind of expect the room number to change. Three of those blue ones, the slanty thing, garbage can. This room, I have trouble catching anything in this room. There's got to be other things that are different in here that I just don't see them yet. There is like a little golf cart thing that will be here when it's not supposed to be. Difficulty has really ramped up with this one. Correct. What do you think might be different about it? Take a look at that when we loop around. Worth a shot. Seems right. That seems right. Stacking that one. Cleaning palette. 2 lumps and tracks. 2 there. Coffee maker and microwave. 2 monitors. 2 posters. Bottles. I presume towels and such. Ugh, we're already at 3. Such fail. Sewing machine. Tiny stove. Those are correct. I think the color gets distorted by the glare off of the not Coke machine. Let's see. This one is in place. Yeah, it should be the guy drinking the bottle and then the not a Coke machine. When this image changes, usually it's the eyes bleeding. But yeah, that's exactly what we were talking about a little earlier there, JCR, the self-gaslighting feel. The was that always that way kind of vibe. This one's going to take a bit. We had problems with the museum, too. There was a dead body in quality control? Huh. Okay, there was an image swapped in maintenance and a dead body in the storeroom. Huh. Dead body is a specific call out. I have no idea where it would have been. Like, there was one in here. If I had to guess, there was probably like a limb sticking out of the meat or something. Maybe it was rolling by on the conveyor. Dead body can actually be tricky because sometimes it's like a head sticking out somewhere and you think initially, like, is that an intruder? Where would it have been? So tricky. Yeah. Bottle drinker guy, not Coke, garbage can with like 2 flat things and a cup next to it, 2 cups, candy bar, colored magazine. The posters here are a good possibility. Same with this. We'll have to be cognizant of like the papers, the buttons, the monitors. We know the servers can change, and we know these guys will turn and face the camera. Anomaly should now be active. This door can open. One of the things that happens a lot is anomalies will react once you start reporting them. This door being open is one of them. It's like flickering light and movement when you start reporting it. Seems in order here. Where could they have been hiding a corpse? Now we should already have one. Should be something active. Starting about 15 you can get one, but by 30 we should have one already. Such a complicated environment. Others seem fine. Boxes. Hunters. Meat. Putting the meat lump down here. It's like a serving plate, like an actual dinner plate. This one? Seems right. Oof. Still don't have a grasp for the shape of this area, you know? That where is everything supposed to be feeling isn't there yet. Yeah, failure imminent. Right. There was the central lockers. I was convinced that they were in a different configuration for a bit, and I tried 3 different reports on it. I think there was an intruder in the monitoring room. Were they like peeking in the windows? A forbidden snack on the canning line. And probably like a poster in the locker room. Oh man. Somewhere in here there was an intruder. Wow. Maybe under the desk? Somewhere in here there was forbidden snack, which is a special report. So something kind of unique to the area. I have to keep an eye. I wonder if there was a missing plate here at one point. If I had to guess, it was one of these posters changed. Maybe that one. The only images that I can see in here. We have seen this poster change. I wonder if the guys can be replaced, you know? Alright, we should be active now. Snack was going to appear, you'd think it would be like on that bench there. But who knows? Two things: box, chair, desk, garbage can. There's a meat lump over here. Apparently those are as they should be. Lights in the locker room. Oh no. Hey there, Alt. Welcome. He didn't show up until I started reporting that the lights were wrong. They like to do that. Now I am absolutely confused as to where the intruder would have been in this place. Same way, where was the corpse here? We're gonna find out it was painfully obvious, like it was rolling down the conveyor? Yeah, I wonder if it's possible that the security guys are, like, body snatched at some point. Abyss in storeroom? Or is it locker room? Storeroom. Now we do a visual sweep, make sure we don't have anything that was hiding in the abyss. We're off to a better start, but I expect we're probably still behind on that. It's weird, isn't it, Drew? Like, where were they hiding a corpse? I do expect that there will be something else in the water cooler at some point. Can you imagine if there was just a third guy there? Let's take a look when we sweep back around. I know there are kind of two stains on the floor left center, but if there's another one, that could be it. Triangular meat. And bowling balls. Well, that wasn't right at all. There's a corpse in my storeroom. Yeah. That in the cowboy twang of Toy Story would be amusing. Those 3 there, 1 there, 2 there. Box and box. Meat tub. Microwave, 2 plates. Coffee machine, 1 mug. Lump, lump, lump. Locker room. Posters seem right. Towels, I think, are in the right order. Hard hats, hard hat, 2 there. I think that's right. There should be a box in papers here. There should be like 3 drums visible there. We have 3 active anomalies. This stain and this stain should be here. There should be water here and here. Yeah. Seem right. was correct. Wheel is turning. There's a subtle sound when it does that. All right, we're at best 2 active right now. We could already be back at 3, depending on how lucky we got. Is there always a meat lump on the boxes there? There was not a meat lump there. It was an out-of-place lump. I would turn the lights off in here to make it easier for me to see on the monitor. But Molly is just so comfy. Must not disturb the kitty. Red guy. This should have put us back down to 2 again. It said red guy is on every map. He's drinking from one of the pump nozzles when he's at the gas station. Just stab in the dark. There's like a hazy dark shape there. And you can hear him siphoning from it. Like he is putting effort into getting his beverage. Is that box always there? All right. We are probably going to lose shortly. See if we can spot anything last minute, you know? Oh, it's the flasher. You have to report really slowly to report him. It makes you look at him for a bit. Hey there, Zell. Welcome. You arrived with impeccable timing. Okay, probably back down to 2 again. That was the one that we were worried that a TOS violation was about to happen. But it was simultaneously not as bad as that and worse than that. Hey there, James. Longest we've gotten, we're getting pretty close. 3 is approaching 3 is actually pretty good. For me on this map, at least. Oh, object movement. These are up vertically swapped. Should be papers and then cans. Observation duty is pretty much that. Normally, you're not watching people. That's one of the weirdnesses of this map, is that you normally don't have people present who are supposed to be there. Usually, if there's a person, they're out of place. Since you're usually observing when it is like after hours or similar. Still, I'm confounded. Where was an intruder hiding in this? Where did they hide a corpse in this room? Sometimes those monitors move as if they're watching the conveyor. Hey, 3 o'clock. I'll take that. Got 8 of them. Something was swapped in the monitoring room. There was an image that was off in maintenance. I have to assume the monitor changed. The locker room went missing. So that's going to be a real issue on this one, is camera malfunction. Given that there's so many rooms, it'll be easy to overlook one of them going missing. At least for now. Eventually we'll get a rhythm. So something was swapped in here. Replaced, you know. The box, this sign, and the screen are the only things that I think could be an image anomaly in that room. Okay. Break room. Okay, anomalies should be coming up very shortly. Kind of a fixed POV prop hunt that would be interesting there, James. Where instead of stalking around trying to find them, you have camera operators. Like, it's less about you sneaking around the room as an object and more you are invisible and periodically have the power to affect something. Alright. There's got to be at least one by now. It's simultaneously a horror game and a relatively chill game. Because it's not like it's really intense. The jump scares happen because of how focused you are usually. Like, you're staring so intently that it ends up kind of jumping out of you even if it's not actively moving. Red alert in the monitoring room, I guess. Code EU02. Okay, that's a unique event. This still bothers me. It's like there's a person there, that shadow, but apparently it's not. Okay. Some of the changes can be really small. We've seen faces appear on distant monitors. We have seen there was like a dog food bag with a pug on the front. A pile of those dog food bags in a store, and one of the bags had the pug swapped for a guy. The face of the guy had the same general color palette, or the pug had like a very flesh tone and brown hair color palette. So unless you noticed that it was now a face, it was not like leap out at you obvious that there was a person's face. We have to have an active one. I have to assume at some point we're going to get an anomaly where it's not meat lumps rolling into the machine. Oof. Big oof. Huh. I think I've heard of that one. A movie called Missing. It is an interesting concept. For maintenance, there should be a chair here and a chair here. I'm waiting for one of the chairs to go missing. No worries. I know a lot of people are typing on like a phone or something, so I've come to expect typos on the regular. Oh man. Something went missing from the break room. There was an image in quality control, and another corpse in the storeroom. Okay, just a moment. Just a moment. I will be right back. lights. Moved around a little bit. Had to dislodge Molly. She was not thrilled. She's still dozy. We'll see if she falls back asleep here. Really wish there was a better way to manage Twitch ads, but, you know, here we are. Okay. It is... Even a little glare on the monitor makes a huge difference. Like... let's say darken the room by about 25% as far as what it looks like on the stream versus what I was seeing on my monitor. So it should help a little bit here. Though you will definitely notice the cat cameras can get very dark this way. Hiding the dead body in here. It's confounding is what it is. Another big addition in this one is things that evade report. So your core report mechanic is to click and hold. There are anomalies that either dodge that you can't do that to, or in the case of a huge man makes a return in this game, and if you try to click him, he'll punch the camera. If he does that 3 times, it's game over. Hey there, Barrakeet. Welcome on the Twitch side. What other ones might had gimmicks? Oh, toxic gas in the storeroom. We are probably hovering at around 2 anomalies right now. Every time you try to click him, he insults you for doing it. Oh, that's right, Parakeet. You've got you set up that program to open all the stream chats, didn't you? Oh. This poster got swapped with Redman's rear end. We know this is an object swap that can happen. Well, aside from the Twitch chat, if you can get YouTube chat working without having to open stream chat windows, then that's going to be pretty durable. Oh, this is backwards. This is unpacking the cans. I tried all kinds of stuff to get a native YouTube chat integration into my Noida mod. That was a hassle. Even with their API package. Coding, like a lot of skills, is a matter of exposure and practice. There are a lot of things that sound completely esoteric until you're used to them. Just, how do they keep hiding bodies from us? Oh, that sign changed. Okay, so that sign went from an exit to the right. It is a person fleeing a quadruped thing. In the apartment maintenance tunnel, there's an intruder called the Horseman. It is a raw-skinned quadruped thing that walks on the ceiling and licks the camera. I presume that's what the guy was fleeing, though in theory it could have also been one of the poolside creatures. Now it has me wondering if a similar creature can appear on this map. They are really good about variety. Okay. Museum introduced the concept of an anomaly that happens on a periodic basis when you're watching. There was a slideshow that was automatically switching images, and the anomaly initially didn't appear on every one of the images. But apparently the longer you take finding it, the more of the images it appears on. Dodds, it has a real SCP vibe to it. So there will be reports of strange behavior happening. Usually the people that own the place are either concerned or negligent, and your team gets sent in to watch for them, and then does something. Yeah, there's puddle of blood here, here, and here. Those are supposed to be there. There are bloody meat lumps that are just left out in this canning factory. You can even see the smears on the floor where they've driven through it. Highly sanitary location. If you watch when the anomaly is reported, you can see the logo of the organization that you work for. The lore in this game is largely passive. We see it in imagery and we see it on the level select screen. But it's not like they ever like sit you down and talk to you about it. We're probably approaching a 3 soon. Speak of the devil. We might have a good camera shot here. We'll see. Yeah. Even if we fail, we've got a good shot of Ember there. Quality control, canning line, maintenance, storeroom, locker room, break room. Some sort of bug or spider there. Remember in the cabin level, there was a report that was apparently explicitly called Huge Spider. And we somehow overlooked that. We are kind of teetering on the brink right now. We're probably sitting at 3 once again. So the clock is ticking. Oh. All right, let's see what we missed. Trying to also hello Oliver. Trying to find out that would be an interesting idea if it is if it's kind of the reverse, you know, where it is our presence that is causing it, but we can't see it. It's kind of blurred, but it's like an eye logo. I think the organization is called BoJack or something like that. It's an acronym. Okay, something got swapped in the monitoring room again. Something was missing from maintenance. And we lost to the storeroom at some point, or there was something wrong with the camera in general. Oh, what got replaced? Quick look. Could be any of this stuff got swapped out, you know? We're still getting used to the layout here. But if you watch when it's anomaly detected, the screen where you got a guess right, you should see more of the logo. They have made it less obvious. I wonder if there was like an issue with the exact image they were using. Okay. Storeroom after maintenance, then locker room, then break room. We'll say the camera, the cat cams do have decent low light mode. It's not perfect, but it's decent. Wonder if that little cup can go missing. Oh. The screen's watching the meats. Yeah, Bodak. Can't remember. I don't recall if they ever tell us what it stands for, but BOADAC. The F2 was kind of fun. It's a shame that they haven't maintained it as well, but you know, it's apparently still popular. I really enjoyed when they had like backstory for the Pyro character, and canonically, he sees everything as like fun and rainbows. Uh, whereas in reality, you know, he's got a flamethrower, not a bubble blower. I mean, we don't even know if the Pyro is a human under there. Is that box always up there? It would appear so. Okay, well, we know there's a box up there now. Did they actually finally shut down the servers? I know updates to it have been effectively nil. It's a source of great contention for the community that they haven't been doing content updates, let alone doing updates to prevent things like bots swarming servers. Oh, door's open. And cue the flashy lights. Yep. When you think about it, Oliver, it's relatively surprising that they never even added the idea of having like alternate gender characters in Team Fortress, given that all of the base characters are male. Team Fortress 2 community is very much a let's, in general, are very much a let's all have fun. Some of the visual vibe of Team Fortress, I believe, is meant to invoke an older period. I don't know precisely when. Oh, they're not visible. I believe one of the essentially the disembodied voices calling the shots, there is a female character who is kind of in charge in some of the Team Fortress 2 scenarios. Wow, we are losing hard today. I'm... It's always that way. Well, glad you'd like to stay there, Oliver. I hope you enjoy the rest of the stream. I hope we managed to make some... Oh, meat. Ah. The extra meat lump was present. We only got 2. Okay, that meat lump on the back is the forbidden snack. Is a pile of raw meat in the back of the canning line. They just give it a special name. One of the doors was wrong in the locker room, and the lighting was weird in maintenance. I don't know how we missed the lighting. That one's usually real obvious. Saw this and it was like, did that machine always look that way? And it did indeed. It will probably be this coming week, but I do plan to have, well, it'll be whenever it drops. Some point in the near future, uh, we will be playing some Monster Hunter Wilds. There's a new / returning monster that they're adding, which should be fun. I like Monster Hunter. He's a good game. Okay, fire extinguisher. So there was something wrong with the locker doors at one point. Monster Hunter is a fun play periodically game. If you're really into it, it's also one that has a very kind of tight gameplay loop. The kind that you can just spend time playing, you know? I generally play greatsword dots, though I've been interested in some of the other weapons because of the changed wilds for easier turning. The focus mode in wilds has made it so that uh, there's just huge quality of life improvement. So, like, I actually enjoyed playing Lance a bit too. Greatsword is still my favorite. It's not that I'm really good at playing it, I just enjoy playing it. And the new moves that it gets in Wilds just make it that much more fun. Very satisfying stuff you can pull off. I mean, generally, there's a lot of soap that is effectively toxic. Uh, I mean, happily, nowadays they avoid soap being poisonous. I mean, which is a good thing, though it does depend on the kind of soap. The more kind of cleaning solution that it is for, the more likely it is to be like poisonous level toxic. And that's why it is generally contraindicated that you consume it. Are just sounds like it's the reverse of the cilantro thing. You know how for some people cilantro tastes like soap? Maybe for some people soap tastes like cilantro? It's like how for some people they say that a majority of meat tastes like chicken. I suspect that's another one of those genetic variation things, is what your default protein taste is. Oh, here we go. There's a face peeking on the off the side of that monitor. It's like a person peering out of the screen. That could have been an image anomaly that we encountered before. I don't know if it was precisely that one, but I believe we had an image anomaly in the storeroom at one point. That is one of the that is one of those truisms or sayings or whatever, Dodds, where people will say everything tastes like chicken when it comes to, you know, meats and whatnot. You know, if it's not a an otherwise named meat, if it's a uncommon meat, it tastes like chicken. So things like, snake. I suspect it's more that when you're not used to the nuances of a particular flavor, your brain tries to find something similar, you know? Toxic gas in the storeroom. What was another returning intruder? The Red Prince made a return, or I think they're the Red Prince. It might have been like Skinny or something. It was a something Prince, and when it first appears, there is a warning that says it's in this particular room. Don't go look. I have heard of that one. I think it's like Chicken of the Woods or something like that, Dodds. A type of mushroom that supposedly is a great deal like chicken, both in texture and flavor. I've heard of that one. My general concern with consuming mushrooms is quality control. There is a lot of social media knowledge that's out there that is concerning or wrong, you know? And there are particular types of mushroom that you definitely don't want to be concerned or wrong about. Or, I'm sorry, have cause for concern about. Something replaced in the monitoring room again. Something was moving on the canning line. I mean, stuff moves on the canning line, but something that shouldn't have been moving was moving on the canning line. And there was an image issue in the break room. We'll learn them eventually. Could have been swapped in here. Maybe one of the keypads? I keep expecting these button pads. Yeah, we're already seeing real problems with AI generated content. And despite the assertions of people that it's only going to get, better as far as its capabilities, we're actually seeing a lot of it getting worse. Because a lot of it is being driven by people not wanting to spend time or resources making something better. So their goal is to make something cheap and fast. And so they get something that is still cheap and fast. YouTube is flooded with advertisements of persons staring at camera and speaking, but you can tell that their voice and their movements don't really match up. Sometimes very easily tell. Especially when the exact same voice is used with different people. Right, anomalies should be active. which image was swapped. Plenty of them it could have been. These should be meat, not cans, since this is where they're inspecting the meat. I suspect the AI bubble is going to burst before that, Dodds. The technology that is currently being touted and super hyped is fantastically expensive to operate. Like real estate, energy consumption, hardware. At some point, investors are going to be demanding a return on investment. And there aren't not a lot of tools being created that are like that I could see companies really spending money on, because a lot of the ones that are being offered right now, we are getting reports of the results are real bad. Like they're not getting their money's worth. Now, does that mean they're not adopting it? No, they're trying to, but it's the same way that everybody wanted to adopt blockchain. Everybody wanted to have a metaverse solution. I've spoke with somebody, it's like, come back in a few years and we'll talk about how much progress they've made. Because I fully expect this to be, Hyperloop and all that. Now, they might come out of it where we get refined good uses of it, but people saying like, oh, movies are going to be made by AI, and then they show you some AI movie footage and it's garbage. For a while, Dodds, there was a saying amongst AI researchers that was, as soon as you have it solved, as soon as you are able to deploy it and review what it's capable of, it's probably not AI. So for a while, the hotness was neural networks. They were this amazing thing, and they were acting like artificial intelligence. They were the best thing ever, and now they're not. Blood. I mean, it's a possibility, JCR. I'm not saying that a lot of this stuff is impossible. But the technology that we have, what we are using right now, I don't think is viable for one general AI. I really don't think that the systems we're using right now would be viable for general AI. And the results that we're seeing at the moment, as far as results for things like movie generation, consistent long-term image generation, are still not holding up very well. At least as far as like quality of result. Can you make a movie with AI? Yes. Is it going to like pass the sniff test of people watching it? I doubt what we have right now. Again, let's let's consider it in a couple of years after the investor bubble has burst. Now, that said, there are some things that AI is pretty good at. Like summarization and parsing information. We've got good results on that. But content generation is really spotty still. Like a big part of AI image generation is iteration and human curation. Because despite the hype, AI doesn't know anything about what you're asking it to do. Like, when you tell it to write a story, it doesn't know a bit about it. Yeah, anybody saying that they have a quantum computing solution, like that they're going to use quantum computing to give you a solution right now. Yeah, no, they're full of it. Is it a field of research that has been making, inroads into stuff? Yes. Yeah, AI isn't aware. AI isn't sapient. AI doesn't know things. It's an algorithm. It does what you tell it to do. And a lot of AI right now, programs that we're using, are dependent on randomness. As in, they only give you plausible results sometimes because there's a dice roll involved. Otherwise, if you were to remove that randomness, you will get the most common solution, the thing that is most probable. And while that may give you the right result, if we keep going down the road that we're going down, the most probable result is whatever prior AIs have generated. So, like right now, we have a lot of people spamming AI art online, And it's not going to be long before a good portion of the data set that people use to train AI is other AI art. So every little flaw and nuance, like strangeness in AI art, is going to be reinforced and reinforced. It's kind of the local maximum problem. I am unfamiliar with what that is, Oliver. Yeah, it's at least a decade ago. I remember being on a call with, I think they were a rep from RSA, the security folks. They do like token security and that kind of stuff. And they were talking about how they were working on a quantum solution, like quantum key fobs kind of thing. And they were trying to sell somebody on the idea that that was going to be a solution that would be within reach. And it's like, no, it's not. Do I think you'll never have that? No. I mean, quantum entanglement has been done. But in a commercial security reliable way? No. I mean, yeah, it's blockchains, NFTs. Right now, artificial intelligence, all of these are tech hype. There was a period of time, and to some extent, there's still people in Congress talking about, well, could you use blockchain for this? Like, you could, but why would you? And even worse, you will have tech hype people that still promote it as a viable solution for everybody and for everything. I get a feeling that this is super casual observation duty day. And by super casual, I mean fail repeatedly day. Oh, definitely, Dots. The current state of generative AI is a bit of a blight on creative communities online. And by bit of, I mean extremely. A lot of search engines have already, even before the AI boom, had already been a problem for independent content generation sites. Because you would have like, they would give you the thumb, like the headline summary of the page, and that might be all people look at. They never click through, you know. Okay, we've got one. We're likely already still at one. Yeah, don't worry about chatter and chat. It's okay. Um, like the only, I think, the only real rule. I specify some other things, but the only real rule of chat is don't be rude. Don't trample other people and try to force a conversation. And be nice within limits. I mean, if there's somebody being a jerk in chat, we don't need to be nice to them. But if that's the case, then they will probably be forcibly removed from chat. But things like, if nobody is biting on your conversational invitations, let it go. But if people are engaging with your conversation, feel free to continue. It's chat. Feel free to chat. Okay, it's going backwards again. Is it manipulation? What is it when it's going backwards? Okay. Backwards is manipulation. It was no longer canning the meat, it was extruding the meat from the cans. Toxic gas in the storeroom. We should have locker and break room next. I kind of feel like it must be like a Popeye situation there, Oliver. Like there is just a little grabby or pinchy machine arm in there that just squishes the cans from the side and makes the meat rupture out. Does anybody in chat even remember that Popeye was a thing? Or have I just indicated how old I am again? If I recall, one of the original incarnations of Popeye was as an advertisement for spinach. I don't know if the character came first, but I believe the whole powered up by spinach thing was an advertisement. It was similar with the myth of spinach being a fantastic source of iron showed up. Like, it contains a good amount of iron, but it's not like you will absorb all of it if you're eating a lot of spinach, you know? Guy in the screen again. There was a live action Popeye movie, and I feel like the actor that they got to portray Popeye did a good job with the facial expression. Not too infrequent that I get the like I tell an anecdote and I feel like I get blank stares. I don't recall who the actor was, James. Huh, Robin Williams. I mean, it makes sense. Or you would expect Robin Williams would be capable of that. Got four. Break room had something missing, image swap and quality control, and something added to the storeroom. Like, this is hard, but I also feel like it's not unfair. It's just my brain is not absorbing everything that's going on in here. I won't tell you an exact number, JCR. Let me see. Lore wise, I'd have to look, but maybe about four. uh, Out of character wise, let's see. The oldest game console that I played was the Intellivision. And I was around for the release of the initial NES back when they were trying to pitch it as a replacement for where they were trying to get the game industry back on its feet, you know? Like, I played the ET game that was part of the collapse of the game industry. Interestingly, we are kind of looking at a scenario akin to that right now. Not quite the same situation where companies were just cranking out um, like the lowest grade garbage, but where we have big expensive studios blowing a lot of money on things that aren't working out. Uh, One of the games that I like to play sometime, one of the games I like to play was a PC game called Clouds of Zine. Um, and I believe that one took a stack of 3.5-inch floppies. Oh, that depends on what country you're in, JCR. I mean, I live in the US and I have to assume that the expected lifespan is plummeting right now. Which is shocking given our amazing healthcare system. Given my personal health, who knows? I would say I'm not going to hold my breath, but I probably shouldn't given all the coughing. Oh. I'm a robot because the Catbot Corporation decided that a new product line that was even more adorable and approachable was necessary. While the Catbot line was successful, they needed a follow-up product in the market. And the Nanotype product line has been fantastically successful, and everything is fine at the factory and the products are good. Every home and sensitive government institution should have its own Nanotype. I really like how it turned out. I appreciate the compliment, Dodds. The So a common program that this floor should be red. Is there another floor that is red that it shouldn't? This floor should be red. It should be a regular tile. Yeah, I think the floors are right. This floor is red. Is this one blue? Because the canning line should be red. This one should be red. Lumps, 1, 2, 3. One there, those two there. Open spot there with box. Doors seem right. Red flooring in the canning line gives the area kind of an eerie glow because of the reflection off the floor. It's an interesting thing you can do with room lighting is if you... Right? I think that's actually correct. Just the clouds look weird. It was wrong. Okay, the clouds looked weird. Okay, no meat lump. It just seemed fine. Hands up here correct. Seems okay. Sign is okay. We are scraping by right now. I think we're hovering around 2. Which generally means there are 2 active and we're spotting the third one. Oh, that okay. We just hit 3. So a common program that is used in VTuber face tracking is called VBridger. I don't use that one because the fine-tuning mechanism for it is manually adjusting a bell curve. What I use instead is called vitamins. And the reason that I use that one is that you can put little JavaScript-like code in it. And the mouth tracking and the eye tracking require a lot of tuning for me. Unless I really exaggerate my mouth movement like this, then it doesn't normally come through. Well, I mean, we kept ahead of it for a little bit. There was an intruder in the monitoring room again. Where are they hiding? There was something hiding in here. It said there was something moving here. You make it to 6 in the morning, Oliver. That is the wind condition. Yeah, it's got that same sort of victory condition like FNAF. One of the frequent people in the channel, Tacitus, is the one that introduced me to the concept of VTubers, and I think it worked really well for me. Previously, the only image on the screen was the cat cam. If you go back far enough in my old streams, shameless plug, watch my old streams, you can see various iterations, including what the original product line, the Catbot, looked like. I saw recently that Dead by Daylight added Springtrap and a couple of different variations based on the different FNAF games as a killer. And I was wildly disappointed by the Mori for it. For those unfamiliar with the game, the Mori in Dead by Daylight is a way for the killer to just outright execute a player instead of using the regular mechanics. But the problem that I have is the Mori for Springtrap is that he grabs them and slams them onto like a human body shaped body table that is all buzzsaws, and it's right there in his name, Springtrap. He should put them in the Springlock suit. That's the whole gimmick. That's how the animatronics kill people. Is they take the living endoskeleton and put them in a suit, like they're supposed to be. And the closure mechanisms kill them. It's the whole thing. It's why wouldn't you use that? Yeah, it's got kind of an Iron Maiden vibe, Dodds. It's supposed to be that the wow. We're nominally playing observation duty today. It's the theme of the stream, you know? It's supposed to be that the mechanism in the animatronics in that is that you have the core endoskeleton inside them, the actual framework of it, with all the electronics, and then for these particular ones, the exoskeleton kind of snap locks on. When the endoskeleton is put inside of it, there are little like latches and whatnot that are spring loaded and snap into place. So if a person were loaded into that or reaches into the machine wrong, then the mechanisms would actually be strong enough to bite into the person. So if they were put entirely in the suit, it would be maiming, if not lethal. So again, why would you not use that? It's a gimme. It's a freebie. It's thematic. It works. We did nothing. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Yeah, it's like that has to be an option. It has become a trait of the character that is what is supposed to happen. Though to be fair, one I believe the default character, the raggedy gold bunny, in it, I don't know if in that game he does the same thing. But even in that case, I don't think the the buzzsaw table lines up. Well, I appreciate the community that grew up around it, and especially the sort of game theory inspired lore digging. Um, that resulted from it. One of the things that annoys me about Five Nights at Freddy's is the very clear retconning and revisionism that the maker did during the game theory era. As in, as people dug around and found out that there were inconsistencies and like flaws in the writing, the creator kind of did the like, oh, my plan all along was different than that kind of thing. It's why I have zero trust in George R. R. Martin. Like, oh yeah, this, my book is just delayed. It's like, no, you found out that the original script that you gave to the HBO folks stank things up, and you're like, oh, I better go edit this. Though, yeah, he does take a long time to write books. It's just, I mean, you do have to appreciate that he saw that the whole kind of lore investigation thing became as much the driving force of the popularity at, hi guys, as much as the games themselves. So you still had the, you know, zany watch people stream the game element, but you also had a whole community built up around digging through the game and finding out what could the plot actually be. So I appreciate that element, that they were willing to feed into that. It is a awareness of your community kind of thing, you know? But simultaneously, you know, it's have the humility to acknowledge when your writing was when you realize that, hey, I should do this story differently because of what has been, of people pointing out what the story is like. Acknowledge the retcon. Well, I can't say for sure. Maybe they did ultimately. Yeah. For me, Game of Thrones ceased to be interesting. I can't remember exactly which book it was, but one of the books that was released was essentially split in half. And I don't mean like, chapter 1 through 30 was one and chapter 31 through 60 was another. It was, they took half of the characters in the timeline and put those in book one, and the other half of the characters in book two. And it's already hard enough to keep all of the characters in the air when you're reading it, but to then have the timeline essentially disjointed like that, where you have to read the second book potentially simultaneously to see the events unfolding as they are supposed to, was super annoying. And the reasoning for it was crummy. Like, oh, we had to put something out. There was pressure. And, I mean, if that's the case, then that puts the root cause in a common problem, and that's this need to have sequels, this need to drag IP along as some sort of epic storyline. You are allowed to end your stories. Not everything has to be a sprawling narrative that spans many, many books or series or anything like that. You can end a story. It's okay. And that circles back around to Five Nights at Freddy's. Stop it. Stop it. It's done. It was done so many games ago. I'm fine with spin-offs, like completely separate narratives, but just stop it. Oh, here's the body. As I thought, there's an arm sticking out of the meat lumps. Yeah, it does happen, JCR. It does happen. One of these times, I will adjust my model's position again. I think another example. So, I like SCP. Like I like listening to videos that are readings of SCP articles, that kind of thing. But if you look at games in similar that derive from SCP, you will see a propensity to reuse particular famous creatures. Up until the copyright concerns around the peanut, you would see the peanut a lot. You would see the plague doctor a lot. You see the indestructible lizard a lot. And my question to that is, why? SCP is an open community interaction. It is people writing their own stories and contributing. You don't need to reuse them. Make up your own. Red butt. Like, there's an SCP story about essentially a slide, a playground slide that eats people. You could do a game about that. Like, that's it. It doesn't have to be this amalgamation of all of the, like, the big famous ones. I am making a Bullet Heaven style game. We are still in kind of alpha stage or pre-alpha stage, but it's the kind of thing where you have a lot of weapons and you spray bullets everywhere, and there are lots of monsters converging on you. It is not about you dodging bullets. It is about you putting enough bullets on the screen that they can't get you. That is the gameplay. That is the core gameplay. The gimmick, part of the gimmick of it will be that the weaponry is composite. So instead of getting a weapon that behaves its way and you upgrade its stats, you get a weapon that behaves a particular way and you augment its behavior. So one of the things we saw on the last stream was the yarn ball looping out in a spiral. Hey there, Lunar. But that spiral can be applied to any of the weapons. There will be an interface for you kind of putting your weapon together out of various pieces. The goal to that will be constructing good weapons as opposed to finding good weapons. How that'll work out, I don't know. But as Lunar said, we do have like core screens in place now with more of the gameplay loop ready. Object movement, object replacement. At this point, it's going to be coincidental if we complete a level. And that's fine. That's fine. Now, the thematics of the game match up with my with the lore of my character. That lore extends all the way back to when we used to play Noida all the time on stream. And we made a custom mod for that. Very customized. Way overcomplicated to deal with kind of how you have to graft things into Noida past a particular. Another good one along those lines. There's one that's in early access right now. We showed it on stream a bit. I kind of want to stream it again in the near future, but I don't know. Called An Amazing Wizard. But the gimmick with all of them is that it's like building blocks, you know? Whether it's like Noida's sequential fight, do this thing in sequence kind of stuff, if it's more of a Magicraft, similar to Magicraft in that way. But yeah, JCR, if I have my way, there will be plenty to speculate about what's going on in the game. I have plans. It was always right there. I think they were. I do too, Parakeet. The whole weapon crafting mechanic is the thing that, like, for me, that was the fun in Noida. The rest of the gameplay and, like, exploring the lore in Noida, I felt was cumbersome. And there were some aspects of how you would move around in the game that I felt were contrived. The whole build a ridiculous teleport wand to navigate. Like, it was neat to see somebody come up with it, but the fact that it seemed like they were assuming you would have that to get around, eh. Like, cool that it was included, and, you know, super fun for the folks that liked that, but I didn't like that part. I liked seeing how big of an explosion we could cause, and then survive. Kinda in that order, generally. Noida was the game where, if you ever hear us mention things like uh, that we have gone seconds per frame or minutes per frame as far as performance, that's what we're referring to. There were periods that we got to in Noida that even after some performance tuning added to the game, it would take upwards of like 5 minutes for a frame to tick. Any indication that a nanotype has a propensity for destruction is purely coincidental or due to the perceptions of the individual and does not reflect the actual programming of the nanotype or the interests of the Catbot Corporation. Hey there, Tass. We've been chatting a lot today and failing fantastically at the factory level. Oh, we've gotten to see some new stuff. We found a body in the meat tub. We still haven't found where the dead body in the storeroom is. There has been an intruder in the monitoring room, the room with the two guys in it. I have no idea where he is, but we failed because of him like several times. Odd. Oh. There's an audio cue that plays in my headphones when somebody does that. Welcome to being a catbot, JCR. Welcome, welcome. As a member of the channel, you do have access to the channel emotes now. And you will get fun little icons next to your name. Like, somewhere in here, there was an intruder. Yeah, I don't know where. That's perfectly okay, Oliver. The one thing I like to remind people is I definitely appreciate donations. I appreciate memberships. All of those kind of things help the channel stay afloat. They help me buy cat food. um, but patronizing an entertainer is always secondary to your own needs and interests. If you have the spare money and you want to, of course, I appreciate it. But if you don't think you need to. Don't worry about that. I do not begrudge that to any of my viewers. Frankly, I'm always a little disgusted when I see videos that point out streamers that have done that kind of thing, where they berate their viewers for not subscribing or donating or whatever, you know? Well, thank you again, JCR. Thank you for the super chat. When I'm playing this game, so like I said, there's an audio cue to indicate to me that an alert happened in case I don't notice it. It's harder for me not to notice it because now I have a bright, shiny thing that I can see. And thank you for giving a gift sub there, chat. Tass? Oh. Thank you for giving a gift sub, Tass. Not chat in general. I really do appreciate it, folks. Thank you. Really want to figure out where the guy is. Is he like hiding under the desk? Is he like in the window? Because this isn't the guy. That weird black shadow, not the guy. It's like that door anomaly in the backyard of the gas station. Open door. No meat lump. You know there was an object movement in here, but I don't know what it is. I bet that the chairs are going to move at some point. Where could they be hiding a dead? Maybe there's going to be another dead body in the meat bin. Completely unrelated, I have been playing Helldivers a bit more lately. The recent Warbond, the very much RoboCop / Judge Dredd vibe one, has added some fun stuff, and it's kind of not just that, but it got me interested to play again, and it's been enjoyable. I'm glad you're having fun, JCR. Hopefully it will continue to be so for you. And my cats are dodging the camera. I'm gonna get a talking to in the comments of this one, I feel like. The canning room? Let's look. Is it? I think that's normally there, but I don't know for sure. Okay, that is a wear a face mask one. Okay. We know this sign can change. These signs still seem right. There. Lump, lump, lump. Coffee, microwave, 2 plates, 2 monitors. No face on monitor. Okay. The towels are 2, 1, 1, with the last one being higher than the others. That's right, that's right, that's right, and that's right. Those are right. That's right. Oh, we have 3 active. There's someone in the community that watches the observation report duty streams periodically, and will comment on what I missed. And I find it so entertaining to find out. Let's see. This is not a rift. It is a abyss in maintenance. Okay. So there's still 2 hanging around somewhere. Where is it? Where is it? You're probably back to 3 by now. Seems correct still. Failure imminent. Ooh. Homemade lasagna. How do you make your lasagna? I know there are variations. Advice on starting into VTubing? I would suggest JCR starting low investment. I always encourage folks to try a little streaming. If you're intending to go full VTuber, then even if you start streaming without an avatar, put your toe in the water. Decide if you like streaming in general. But additionally, a lot of VTuber models can be pretty expensive if you're basing it off of some that you've seen. So I would suggest start with a PNG tuber. They're easy to set up and easy to use. And yes, a schedule. Try to pick a time to stream and stream then. Let's see. Old style Italian or Sicilian St. Louis style. Sliced tomatoes, hamburger. Well, I mean, you lost me at sliced tomatoes. Tomatoes aren't bad, but the texture of tomato, like of the actual fruit, nauseates me. I don't really know what it is, but it's been that way for me forever. The only way I tolerate things like onions and tomatoes is when they are rendered into a state that is completely divorced from their original state. So like for tomato sauces and where? Oh, okay. Um, so anytime I use tomato sauce, it's always like the jarred stuff that is, you know, tomato sauce flavored with meat. Tomatoes were and meat products were waved in the general direction of the sauce kind of stuff. There was a huge spider. Okay, we have seen the huge spider. We overlooked it this time, but we know where it is. It's near the towels. It's like one of those Australian huntsman looking spiders, you know? At least in size, it doesn't actually look like one. Something moved in the monitoring room, still not grasping what is in the monitoring room properly. And something was swapped in the break room. Okay. There's just a lot going on in here. Like, it's a very dense scene. It's kind of like one of the cabin rooms. Let's see. Games Fest recently had a couple that I'm interested in. I'm a real fan of body horror style horror. Like your what was it? The game series Prototype, Carrion, those kind of things. The movie It, not It. The Thing, the Thing. It's the clown one. The clown one's still good. I kind of like the new movie adaptations better than the book. The book gets weird towards the end. But there's a game coming out called Ill that like ticks those boxes for me, you know? I am interested. It's like Dead Space, but not sci-fi. The Substance. I don't know if that doesn't sound familiar, but maybe I'll have to look that one up. Here. Button, keyboard, mouse. Maybe it's one of these is extra. That one's okay. How about this one? Because we have a keyboard and a mouse here, but we also have a mouse just hanging out there. How odd. We know this monitor can be darker with weirdness in the clouds. Remember to look for that. Hands are proper. This moved last time. This was the movement. It was looking over here. Monitor is supposed to be facing here, I think. But let's double check. I think it's supposed to be to the left because you can see this. Yeah. Tomato sauce leaking from the manhole. Definitely some implications to the to a title carpal tunnel of love. You know, which part of the lovin' gave you a repetitive stress injury? Meat server. The machinery in the server rack has been replaced with meat full of LEDs. Oh, Will McDaniel is the guy that does the fleshy puppets, right? Ah, I love his stuff. Always look forward to seeing his uploads. Guy in the monitor. There's another artist that I love seeing new stuff from, but it's slowed down a lot. Natyrix. They do drawn stuff. They haven't had a new thing in a while, but I really like the stuff they put out. Yeah, Will McDaniel is very talented. To some extent, they found their style and their kind of their feel for the stuff that they put out, and they have run with it, and you have to respect that. Figure out. Is there always one there? Guess so. A corpse can show up in here, and we have yet to spot it. If I had to guess, it's actually going to show up here in the meat trolley, but it has yet to show itself. Distinctly possible there, Dodds. Probably was there, just... Oh, it wasn't. It wasn't. I was right. It was over here. Ha ha! though I only spotted it because it felt inconsistent, not that I knew it had moved. I think this was here. I think that coffee cup was actually there. Yeah. We are riding the edge currently. We're sitting at probably 3. So there's a dark area here, and I can't really see anything. There's a fire extinguisher here. There's this whole region here that we could have something. Yeah. Like I was saying, until I turned off the lights when I'm playing this, it's imagine that it is a little darker than that. Like even a little screen glare. Something was moved in the canning line, or was moving. Where is the image anomaly in there? Because there was an image that was changed in the locker room. Eye on those. I wonder if those were missing or had moved. Chair there too. Got to keep an eye on that. Fire extinguisher is another strong target for a removal. Well, you'd think that, but you have to expect that there's some fantastic burn-in on these monitors. I mean, we are talking LEDs, so it would just go dead pixel after a while. Screen burn-in. So you'd expect that sign or these. I wonder if this can, like, flip horizontally. Little, not Coke. We could also have this magazine changing, or this one changing. Okay, definitely something active now. always that far back? I mean, looks right. Lights here. Lights in maintenance. They're becoming abnormally bright. We're actually here for them brightening. There are some anomalies that can happen while you're watching. It's especially true of things like Abyss and Rift, where they start small and get more apparent. Spider can appear here. Big ol' spider. We haven't seen the laughing guy here again lately. We have seen the flasher again today. We have to appreciate their confidence. That is a power stance when they're going to drop that towel. It's the kind of pose that precedes the word behold. We are frequently missing something here. Like there are replacements and movements that happen here that we frequently miss. And I'm sure they will be painfully obvious when we encounter them. Always hurts when you get your warning early. Because the warning is your sign that you have 3. But you only get that warning once. So from then on, you pretty much have to operate under the assumption that you have 3 at all times. Which can lend a degree of urgency to everything you're doing. That? Weird. Weird. Check there. Another mechanic of the game that isn't always immediately apparent is time cost. I mean, it's obvious that looking around takes time, but additionally, making a guess takes time. You can't make another guess until the last one is done processing. So that is time that you have to wait. So a common way to lose is to make a lot of guesses when you don't have much confidence. Know that. What about this? What about this? What about this kind of thing? You'll get yourself caught. Hello, Sammy. Trying to come sit with me, or are you going to walk by? You'll get into kind of like a thrashing loop where you think you saw something, so you click it and you wait, and then it doesn't work, and now you're thinking, oh, it's got to be something else nearby, right? So you spend more time guessing instead of taking more time looking. A little bright spot threw me off. And sometimes if you had looked around, it would be better. You can accelerate that by moving and looking after you make a report. But there's a risk surface to that, because if you encounter an intruder, you often need to be able to report them quickly. And if you're waiting on a prior report to finish, you might not have enough time. It's not incredibly complicated gameplay, but it is an extra layer that you have to deal with. Okay. Yeah. Oh, let me check something here. Yeah, let's keep going a bit, huh? Let's keep going. We still have a lot of losing we could be doing. Let's at least do another round, huh? Getting an idea of the shape of this place. This one's still not so much. Similarly with this one. I think I have a grasp for the shape here, but still not quite. This one, not at all. We keep missing stuff left and right here. Yeah, there are a couple of intruder types that you want to react to them as fast as possible once they show themselves. And any sort of delay can kind of be the end of it. Monitoring room, then quality control. The canning line. Mints. I believe storeroom. Mints. A locker room. Break room. To make sure that we have kind of a feel and a rhythm for the order, because it's not common. Camera malfunction is actually kind of rare so far, but it is a powerful one to miss, because it means you can't see a room. And if it's anything like the prior ones, not being able to see the room does not preclude anomalies from appearing in that room. So a camera anomaly could conceal multiple. Backwards, I believe this was manipulation. Gotta assume there's at least one left that We were at 2 at that moment. This one still has a lot of stuff that eludes us. Hello, Sammy. Hello. Are you going to join me or not? There you go. There you go. Come on. All right, Dodds. Thanks for swinging through. Okay. Different. Windows. Screens. Mouse, keyboard, buttons, mouse, keyboard, buttons, mouse, buttons. Coffee cups are in the right place. The guys seem correct. Meat lumps, machinery. Chairs. Cans. Box, tubs, box, oil stain, chair. All of this seems right, and it's definitely not. Speaking of, right there. Oh, toxic gas. This is the third one. This just started happening right around the time that we got the 3 warning. There are 2 left active right now. Oops. There. That I can identify. Genuinely challenging. Even stuff that we have spotted before just isn't sinking. Oh. That's at least flipped, if not otherwise wrong. Really? Well, look at me being wrong. Womp womp. Oh dear. Canning line in monitoring room had moved things, and the locker room had a door. Oof. Oof. Much fail. Let's see. Let's see if we can do better. Ah, that was correct. Ah. This looked off, but not at all. Something did move in here, though. Or in some way changed. I don't seem to have the and the area's complicated. I just don't seem to have the lock on, you know? Not don't have our flow state going. No security guard ultra instinct. Insert your anime focus superpower state here. Oh, eyes are bleeding. He is drinking out of it. He almost has like a maniacal look with bleeding eyes, and it's like he's just pouring it into his mouth, not that he's drinking from it. Fire extinguisher or the chair can move around. I'm not sure. You have to wonder if that would change like the the camera array, or if it would change the cameras if you had security guard Bankai, you know? These times we'll catch that intruder in the monitoring room. Oh. Should be meat, not cans, rolling by here. Though you would expect that there would be a quality control line that happened after the canning as well. To make sure that the cans were properly canned. So you're going to have some difficulties dropping off a pallet that has like a ruptured meat can on it and expect them to accept the pallet. Spider, no changes here. It is nice how there are so many different things that can happen that you don't really get a repeat, you know? During a given run. And it's very likely that you continue to find new ones run to run. Strange. Such strange. Because there are some of them that I suspect we are, you know, we're just overlooking them over and over and over. Red guy. So 2 remaining. That is something that if you were recording your play of this, it would be definitely possible after you get a fail to cycle back and look at it and say, what was the last state of that area? Let's see if we can find it. I don't know. Sometimes, thinking on that, that's one of those things that is kind of against the spirit of this kind of game. It's different than so there's, especially when it's a single player game, play it the way you want to. It doesn't matter if that's not the way that the big players play. Stuff like, if you want to use summons in Elden Ring, use summons. You are free to use the tools you are given. But there's also elements of, if the thing that you change just removes the core gameplay element, then why bother? Especially with the advent of videos where you can watch it and see the end kind of stuff. If all you want to see is the end and you don't care otherwise, then go and find it. Now, simultaneously, I mean, if you really like the game, but you don't like, if you really like some of the content of the game, but don't like playing it yourself, there's also, you get the game to show your appreciation of the content, even if you just watched somebody else. Stuff like that. Okay, though. I don't think we're going to get anywhere with the game tonight. We've had a lot of good fun chatting, though. I think that makes the night worth it. That was fun. And we got to try. We got to see new stuff in the factory level. Clearly, there's some things on the screen that either my eyes are just rolling right over, or I'm not noticing them as things that could change. Effectively, it's just a wall. I don't have to think about a wall, kind of stuff. Hey there, Quit. I mean, it's... I still find them entertaining. Even failing repeatedly like that, it's not... We never reached a point where it was, like, discouraging. A little frustrating, but simultaneously that tells me I could engage further, kind of stuff. Yeah, the exposed heart is one of my favorite things about the model. It's good times. Yeah, it's you can do things like you can get better at just spotting a difference, seeing a shape that is different. You can get better at memorizing the layouts. That kind of thing. And I still really appreciate how each level has some individualized elements. Well, it's individualized as far as the location and the things that can move. But I like that the intruders are all kind of tailored to the location more than in some of the prior ones. Like, it isn't just some guy kind of thing. The only repeated guy is the red guy, and his gimmick is that he's in every level. So yeah, still enjoyable. And we do have a couple of other games in this vibe. Every now and then there's another game like it that comes out. I mean, Observation Duty 1 had a lot going for it. 2 has the problem that you can't really play it unless you want to risk a TOS, at least on stream. And I think it was 3, the first person thing, I just don't think really worked for the gameplay in this. Could you build a game around that? Yes, but it's a very different gameplay style. I do feel like each time they have made another game, they have iterated and improved. And I really respect that in a developer. Whether that is constantly upgrading your, like, the game that you're known for or the game that you made, one way or the other, and making it better and better, like a passion project. Just in time for the end, JCR, just in time. We made it no further. Yep. I think they've hit a really good spot with the challenge scale in this one. Each successive area has its own way that things are tricky. And now the factory represented um, a huge change in how things are. Um, but 7 has had some really good environments as far as the detail without it being obviously meant to be complicated, you know? Uh, it's not uncommon for these games to have, like, it looks like somebody just dumped a box of random knickknacks out in order to make the room complicated. In this case, things still feel like this area makes sense. Like, it makes sense for there to be a discarded coffee cup on this table or old newspapers, as opposed to just here is the entire condiment shelf placed on this table. I did like how it was more common in some of the earlier ones where you would see the movement happen. I thought that was kind of fun. It did result in some fun, startling moments where you're just watching it and the thing that scares you is a chair that slides slightly to the right kind of thing. Because you're so locked in. You get a bit of that. There are some things that can appear in this one when you're watching, but it is much more scripted in that regard. It's much more when you look away, that's when it happens. Which is okay. Still okay. We have played a lot of games like these. Things like Para Eyes. I think it was like Death Watcher. Or something like that. I think Para Eyes is the one that has come closest in my memory right now to the feel that Observation Duty has, where it doesn't feel like they just dropped particular objects in. Like Death Watcher really had we just dropped some object asset in there and said that's abnormal kind of thing. It was very frequent that you would have just a hand, like a severed hand, and that same severed hand appeared repeatedly. But each of them has tried their own spin on it often. Sometimes the same, but we've gotten a lot of spins. Death Watcher in particular, clearly it was originally a VR game, and you can tell. But its gimmick of having to essentially deal with a creature that is in some way... There is a creature responsible for the event, and it is trying to actively kill you. It tries to get into the room with you. I think that was a neat gimmick. As well as you scanning and removing the anomalies. The intent of it was to get data that you needed to banish the thing trying to kill you. It created like a full flow to it. But we have a lot of games like that, these spot the difference games. I think it was like Shinkansen or something like that was one of the early ones with you're walking down the middle of a train car and you have to spot the differences as you go along. Yeah, these kind of games interest me. They're fun and they're nice in their kind. You can play them casually while still being able to engage with them. It's similar. I mean, I don't know that it's as entertaining to watch, but I have liked to play things like nonogram puzzles. I like that kind of puzzle in particular. Though it sometimes just ends up being a stream of me muttering numbers. There is a new Duck Detective game. Thinking on it, maybe I'll have to put that one into rotation. The first one was kind of fun. I do like detective games. I enjoy the Phoenix Wright games. They're entertaining, though they're kind of hit and miss. Well, that is the hope, JCR. That is the hope, is that that I can keep the stream entertaining. Okay. But next on the schedule for the next 2 days, the plan is to do some coding. I have a pretty good idea of what we'll be coding tomorrow, at least to start with. There is a change I want to make to the file load that will make it so that the mod loading pattern will still work without having to worry about while still letting us get the async in there. It's kind of a 2-stage thing that we'll be doing, which is okay. We just have to get that working. All right, folks. I hope you had a good time watching with us today. If you like what you saw and would like to see more, remember to like, follow, subscribe, drop a comment. Whatever is relevant to the platform you're on, it will help the channel grow. If you'd like to consider financially supporting the channel, you can do so through channel memberships, subscriptions, all that kind of stuff. I do want to thank JCR and Tass again for the memberships and super chats and the like. Thank you again. But with that said, I hope the rest of your day is good, and I'll see you next time.